Welcome, guys, to another episode of Price Targets with your host Bitcoin Jack. Welcome back. It's what day is it? It's Thursday, and this has been absolutely crazy couple of days in the market. It's I don't know, like this is feeling as if the market's been neglecting the idea of going lower. And this is, the expansion of the first capitulation in what was previously like anxiety coming off complacency. I remain on the bearish front, but I have some good news, and that is I closed out some shorts. If that makes you, if you want to become bullish again, somewhat happy. I'm personally not ready to get into any, meaningful longs, and I still have quite a bit of short exposure open, but I closed some smaller positions out, and we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, where I do think that the market is capped to the upside and where I do think that the market is capped to the downside for the next couple of days. So first, I want your attention for Prime XBT, the lovely sponsor making these videos possible. They have been with me for a long time. And guys, if you enjoy these videos, please consider clicking on the link in the description below using the promo code BitcoinJack, and you will get a deposit bonus on your first deposit with Prime XBT. Thanks again, Prime, for being here with me all the way. And yeah, guys, it helps me, it helps them. So, if you are still looking for a place to trade, just check them out. Let me know what you think about them. And thank you once again, Prime. Let's jump into to Bitcoin. Bitcoin rode into, the second orange block here. So, for those who haven't been following me, this is the chart that we've been using since February. And the orange blocks are, are regions in the chart where price kind of accelerated and never really, formed a price basis. So price didn't stay in those orange zones for a long time. And eventually what price likes to do is come and visit them. So we kind of skipped this one up here as we came down. But you can see that we took out this one, we bounced off it, and then we took out this one where we, are finding some support. Personally, I do think that market to the downside is capped at around 19.5 in at least the next 4 to 5 days. I don't know about what's going to happen after that, but it seems to me that into the 21st of June we're going to have support of the level maybe 19,000, but this block has, I think is relevant enough to at least create some upside potential. And then the next question is, where's that cap to the upside? In my opinion, this here is where the market really found the bottom, in the belief that this would be a deviation of the lows here, and then we would get back into the range. So I think this is where the market is capping itself, maybe slightly higher up here, but I do believe that 25, 26 is a very relevant place of resistance. And then once we tag that, I do think the market really opens up for a range between that 26, 27k level and anywhere between 12 to 14k in the next month and a half into August. With that's quite a large range. I do think that price can reach the lower range of that and then bounce for 100% gain, or the other way around. So it's not going to be easy to trade. I don't think that I don't think the market is going to turn into a bullish rally here, because there's just too much going on, too much contagion from all different kinds of events. Like within our own market, we had Luna, then Celsius, and I think there's more going on. 3AC, having trouble, and then obviously the the whole macro geopolitical situation with rate hikes, quantitative tightening, etc. It's just not, the moment yet. The Fed decided to go a little bit more aggressive on the rate hikes. So instead of 50 basis points, they raised 75 basis points. And that's probably going to continue into, the next couple of meetings where, they might actually do 75 basis points. So that's very aggressive. I don't know, when the last time was that they did that, but 50 basis points was back in 2000 for the last time. So mind you that there's a lot of weird things going on. Next thing I just want to mention that you should look into yourself is the Japanese yen and the 10-year auction. It's supposed to be capped at 25 basis points, 0.25%. And the bank is failing to do this. So this kind of means that they're not, they're not buying, they're not applying the yield curve control here. So that's short term, should kind of give the Japanese yen some strength, I suppose, and should be, it should, hold back the US dollar a little bit, as we can, we kind of seeing some pressure here on the before continuation further to the upside on the dollar. But this is bad because it basically means that their debt basis is just, their cost basis to service their debt is just going to rise and rise. And we're talking about the third largest currency in the world. So to me, it all signals to be patient in the market. We talked about where I see the upside for Bitcoin. And then, ETH, in my opinion, actually on the BTC pair, I'm confused as to what's happening here. I do think, so we have this. This can pop back up into here. I do think it's at least going to come and retest the monthly here. Okay. If it can push through past that level, resistance here and resistance on the diagonal. Is it going to be a throwback into, later on lower levels? I do think, and I don't know even if this is going to be able to pop up as high as here. If this kind of, retests and doesn't even manage to get above here, it's an extremely bearish sign, in my opinion. Because generally, when you break out of these kind of levels and you kind of start hugging the breakout level, usually it means that you're going to be, the chances of actually trading back inside are, they're statistically very likely, or more likely. So, if that's going to happen, we can actually look at some, holy shit. If that's going to happen, we can actually look at some alt plays, right? Because going from here up to here, it could be almost 20-25% to the upside on the ETH BTC, on the BTC pairs. So I would assume that if we see follow through on ETH here, that a lot of the smaller caps are going to outperform that widely to the upside. So I was looking at SIS, for example, SIS coin, and it went actually straight past my level of support here, and now it's kind of hugging the downside. So I do think here, if we can get a setup where ideally we tap the low and reclaim it, so basically something like this, and then back up here, I think SIS has a setup to be played into, at least, the projection of the slope of this kind of, sideways structure that was kind of leaning downwards, all the way into the highs that, kept the market for the last 4 years. So if we can kind of get this, I do think there's going to be a relief rally into this level over here, potentially all the way up here. And that is, you know, a large play. So I guess, you know, you got to be a little bit more conservative in this kind of market. And we may not run this high. Maybe we just run as high as the, you know, the lows in March this year. But I think there's potential, and some of these alts are so wrecked, like it's beyond my comprehension. I mean, look at this. It's wild. So you know, same story here. For now, it seems that this is getting rejected, but you have the low here. If this manages to pop above here, I do think it's going to retest, you know, the middle of this range, which you know, coincides with the little consolidation over here, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, summary here is, you know, take it easy in this market. Try and find some, you know, small relief plays. I think, you know, there's some relief plays in the card. I think longing here right now on Bitcoin is a little bit tricky. But if this can come down into like 19.5, I think there's a little long play, you know, that is going to extend into at least the 21st. Potentially a little bit later, where we can, you know, capture at least like 10-20% to the upside. Maybe I'm wrong on this, and I won't bet the house on it. You know, it's not going to be a giant risk I'm going to be taking, but there has to be some kind of reaction. And if there isn't, you know, God hold the market, because it's fucked, right? So I hope that is, I don't know, it's just freaky. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys. And I need to rest up. I had a lot of party this week, some celebrations for birthdays and that kind of shit that I had to attend. And my body, you know, is no longer that of someone who's 20 years old. So I'm going to go for a walk and get some healthy food, and you know, catch you on, let's try do Saturday if something freaky happens in the market, and otherwise we're going to catch up, I think, on Tuesday. All right, peace out.